Good afternoon once again. Today is Friday, the 21st of May 2021, and this is the English language summary of the daily press briefing here at the CCSA. So as mentioned by Dr. Tuisin just now, we had the general CCSA meeting this morning wherein the Prime Minister, as director of the CCSA, chaired the meeting, and then there was a discussion and finalization of many important issues. I'll just touch a little bit about that first, and then continue on with the very important information regarding vaccine registration for foreign nationals in Thailand. So firstly, the General CCSA meeting today approved the proposal to extend the state of emergency until the 31st of July 2021 in the effort to contain the spread of the virus. Now, as you may have noticed, the state of emergency has been extended quite a number of times already since last year, and it has enabled and equipped the officials responsible to carry out their work in containing the virus in the most effective way possible. Also, the CCSA meeting talked about the opening of the parliamentary session that will be coming soon, as well as the prevention measures in terms of COVID prevention measures that will be used in that particular parliamentary debate meeting to, of course, set as an example from the legislative side on the measures that we all have to give importance to. So now for the vaccine registration for foreign nationals. As I've mentioned before, the importance, I'll talk a generally first, that the importance of flexibility is there. I hope you all understand. Now, we have been adjusting the registration plan and talking about it until we have finalized it yesterday. So firstly, just to mention first, that Thailand attaches utmost importance to the vaccination of everyone in Thailand according to the level of risk, regardless of nationality. Now, this is very important. We practice what we preach. No one is safe in Thailand until everyone is safe, until everyone is vaccinated. Now, we have included vaccination in the national agenda of Thailand already. And we had set the date of the 7th of June onwards for the official mass nationwide vaccination, including for foreign nationals. Now, foreign nationals will be able to register on-site at vaccination centers. Of course, the registration for Thai nationals, they use their national ID. But for foreign nationals, you don't have that, of course. You would either have the passport or the social security number or any of those numbers or digits in your documents, like the pink card and all the like for different classifications of those documentations, work permit, people, residents, and the like. But passports, of course, that's very important. I'm sure passports is the document that's the most important. So you will be able to register for vaccination on site using those documents that you have, passports and social security number. The basic one is, of course, at the hospitals wherein you have your own health records. So this is going to be effective and applicable across the country, wherein hospitals will be informed, and when you register on site on the 7th of June for the inoculation, the hospitals will be able to receive that information using documentation such as your passports. And aside from hospitals which you have health records in Thailand already, it will also be done at designated hospitals, other designated centers as determined by the Ministry of Public Health. So firstly, I'll talk about Bangkok first. In Bangkok, the Ministry of Public Health has designated at least 2 hospitals initially for this. The first is Wimut Hospital, and the second is Bang Rak Vaccination and Health Center. So these venues will be managed for vaccination under the responsibility of the Council of University Presidents of Thailand for vaccine registration. Now, just to note first that these two hospitals, which you see on screen now, Vimut Hospital and Bang Rak Vaccination and Health Center, are just the first two initial locations for vaccine registration on the 7th of June in Bangkok. And I mentioned just now they'll be under the management and responsibility of the Council of University Presidents of Thailand, because the CCSA has discussed and sought out the cooperation of various entities in Thailand. And the Council of University Presidents actually, of course, they have a lot of medical universities and medical personnel in university hospitals at hand, wherein they can cater to the communication needs of foreigners in Thailand in terms of asking for medical information and communicating with them before the actual jab. So that's very important that we receive this cooperation. So this is for Bangkok, as you can see on screen, Vimut Hospital and Bang Rak Vaccination and Health Center. A few weeks ago, we mentioned about Bang Rak as being one of the possible. So this is official, Vimut and Bang Rak, as the two of the designated hospitals for on-site registration for Bangkok. Yes. And for the provinces, as I mentioned, the Ministry of Public Health has designated the hospitals wherein foreign nationals have registered health records. So if you live in the provinces of Thailand, you will be able to register for vaccination on the 7th of June at the hospitals wherein you have registered health records there already, and they will be informed. So that's from the 7th of June onwards for on-site registration. And of course, the actual vaccination would, of course, depend on the schedule, the appointment, and things like that. Some may have walk-in available from the 7th of June. Some may have to have an appointment date. But of course, the 7th of June is the first date for the nationwide mass vaccination, nationwide for Thai people, and as well as for foreign nationals. So it will be in the same time. Foreign nationals will begin this in the same time as Thai nationals for the official mass vaccination nationwide, which is part of the national agenda of Thailand. Now, moving on, we have for each specific group of foreign nationals. Now, this infographic on screen there, we'll have it available on social media as well. I hope that you will be able to read because it's in the vertical format, but we'll have this on social media as well, and I'll go through this as well. So number one, for each specific group, are there any other specific information or arrangements set for you? Firstly, number one, as you see on screen, for the diplomatic corps, international organizations and their families, the protocol department of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand has collected around 7,000 names, and we'll be sending this to the Department of Disease Control of the Ministry of Public Health. This group can get vaccinated at the hospitals where they have records, and the Department of Disease Control will designate 2 to 3 hospitals for people in this group who do not have health records at any hospital. So the protocol department, foreign ministry, will be or have been communicating, of course, already with the embassies and diplomatic corps in Thailand on this already. Number two, foreign government agencies. So aside from foreign embassies, so entities which are from foreign government agencies in Thailand may send their request to for their personnel to be vaccinated. They may send that request to the Department of Consular Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for that arrangement. And I'm sure that the Department of Consular Affairs has been in touch with these entities. Number three, in the case of foreign nationals who are spouses of Thai nationals or who are family members of Thai nationals, like if you have a Thai or if you have a Thai husband or wife, for example, retirees in Thailand, business persons in Thailand, and foreign investors in Thailand. So the expat community, this is for you, number three. For those who are in Bangkok, as mentioned, on-site registration at vaccination centers, which are under the responsibility of the Council of University Presidents of Thailand, or at the hospitals where you have registered records. So as I mentioned, this is the hospitals you have records in, as well as Wimut Hospital. I think it's on Pahon Yotin Road, and Bang Rak Vaccination and Health Center, among others. These are the first ones. So this is for this group. But for this group, the third group, expats, who are in the provinces, the Health Ministry will also allocate vaccines to local vaccination centers and, of course, register at hospitals with your health records. So that will be done. That will be quite convenient for those who are in the provinces outside of Bangkok. Number 4, for foreign students in Thailand, the Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation, this ministry, will arrange for the vaccination at vaccination centers under the responsibility of the Council of University Presidents of Thailand. So I believe that this will be a specific group with a separate location. Number 5, for migrant workers, foreign migrant workers, the Social Security Office will coordinate with employers on vaccination for this group. And this actually has already been communicated to employers of foreign migrant workers in Thailand, that this will be under the responsibility of the Social Security Office. The last group is actually for Thai students who will have to travel back abroad to study. You can register online with the Department of Consular Affairs, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as Chulalongkorn University will arrange for this group's vaccination between the 3rd to the 4th of June. And you have a Thai language infographic there on screen for you, wherein Thai students that have to return abroad can scan the QR code and register in the Google form that you see on screen. And all of this that I've mentioned will be, of course, circulated on social media. So just in summary for these groups, for all of these groups, for foreign nationals and the Thai students going abroad, the official mass inoculation for Thai nationals, 7th of June, will also be the date that foreign nationals will be able to do on-site registration. This will be the first date for that on-site registration, and the vaccination will be ongoing from that date forward, perhaps until a couple of months after that. We hope to inoculate, of course, Bangkok with 70%, and of course across the country as well, as soon as possible. So as soon as you do on-site registration, or as soon as your specific group does the specific procedure, the faster we will have the vaccination completed in Thailand. Now, for each specific group, there might be further announcements regarding the details of the location or other specific details as it may be necessary. But I believe I've given you the quite good news, quite progress in terms of the discussions and the preparations that we have. And thank you for your understanding, because this has been something that has been a challenge. The information and database in terms of verifying people through documents in any country, I believe it's disseminated, it's distributed through many agencies in one country. So this is perhaps the fastest way that we believe that we can inoculate the foreign nationals community in Thailand, separating them by groups, having them register at the hospitals. They have health records, as well as walk-in on-site registration at 2 hospitals in Bangkok, and other details to come in due course. So thank you for your understanding on this. We'll have more information for you as soon as we have it towards the 7th of June 2021. We still have a couple of days to go from there. And now I'd like to just move on to the number of cases today. First of all, we have recoveries at 2,868, quite a good number of new recoveries for today. For new confirmed cases, we have 3,481, as you see on screen. Out of this number, we have 2,518 from local transmission, 951 detected in prisons, and 12 from overseas. Currently, we have 42,827 active cases still being treated across the country. And of this number, 1,248 are considered in critical condition. And out of this critical condition number, we have 408 patients on ventilators. Unfortunately, we have 32 new fatalities to report today, making the cumulative 735. So our condolences to the families of the deceased. So some observations, of course, in Bangkok, COVID cases continue to be detected in Bangkok and the vicinity. No signs of declining yet. So we have in the number of around 2,000 and up, 3,000 for each day, of course, including those detected in prisons as well. But nevertheless, in the provinces, the numbers are stabilizing. And there remains 35 clusters in 23 districts in Bangkok. The active case finding continues in full steam in many of these districts. In terms of vaccination, just a recap on vaccination numbers tally in Thailand, which are continuing on an upward trend. As of yesterday, the 20th of May, Thailand has administered more than 2.64 million doses of vaccines already, 2.64. And of this number, more than 1.7 million are first doses, and close to 1 million are second doses. It's very important for everyone to remain vigilant. Understanding is what we seek from you. Patience is what we seek from you, because we value every person on Thai soil, as we have mentioned before. And it's a policy. Vaccination is a national agenda, and we hope that towards the 7th of June, 2021, we'll have much more detail, much more clarity on this. At least today, I have given you the location and some sort of the general modality in which the CCSA has finalized through the various meetings that we have had. We're working for you every day. Thank you very much for your attention. สวัสดีครับ
ครับขอบคุณนะครับท่านณัฐพานุ นพคุณนะครับรองอธิบดีกรมสารนิเทศและรองโฆษกกระทรวงการต่างประเทศนะครับคุณผู้ชมครับ